Yes, people, what's up? I hope you're good. I hope you're well. So, this is the week, and Xbox reveals its future strategy. It's official, and we're going to be talking all about it and what they might be saying. Plus, interestingly enough, PlayStation takes a multi-platform approach on a particular title, and, well, it's doing very, very well. Yes, Helldivers 2. We're going to be looking in all of that and, of course, all the gaming news. So, roll the titles.
It's the Monday Game Chat with your host, Clive Illenden.
Yokoso, 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 aragara gozaimasu. You are most welcome. I hope you're good. I hope you're well. I hope you've had a good gaming week. I hope you've been gaming. As ever, let me know what games you've been playing down in the chat there below. Have you played Helldivers? We're going to be talking about that a little bit later. Available on Steam and, of course, PlayStation 5. Doing interesting numbers and surpassing a game that was equally popular, which I actually decided to give a go. I've not sort of been playing that many games, so I thought I would dive in at the weekend. I had a bit of spare time, so I dived into a bit of old Power World. Given all the hype around it, I thought I'd give it a go. I find some of it a little bit confusing, but it's certainly a game that you can get lost in. Do you know what I mean? You just sort of constantly tinkering away. It's got all those sort of great, cool elements, isn't it? It's like they've almost brainstormed it and thought, okay, well, I've all that kind of Minecraft elements of building out a kind of base and stuff like that, and building, more complex and upgrading your skills and building tools and stuff like that, and with a bit of the old Pokemon thrown in, mash it all up. And it's a sort of game where you just sort of lose yourself a little bit. You're not having to sort of do anything major. You're not following a sort of major storyline. You're just tinkering around at the beginning and all of that. So it's quite enjoyable. They're not always my cup of tea, these sort of survival build games and stuff like that. And I'm still getting to grips with it. But you do find you sort of build a little shed, and then that shed becomes a sort of a bungalow, and then that bungalow becomes a house, and that house becomes... I can see exactly taking the same path I took when I started Minecraft. I don't know how many... 8 years ago, 9 years ago. What were we, 24? 9 years ago. I remember that path. You just start off, don't you? You just sort of build... You find a cave, and you build a little cave for yourself. And then before you know it, you built a whole city, like me, with railways and connecting multi-story apartments and connecting railways and monorails and crazy. Anyway, Power World. Anyway, let me know what you've been playing down in the chat. And talking of chat, let's say hello to Ketchup King. How are you? Good to see you, Ketchup King. Yo to you. Al Davis Music is in the house. Can't wait for it to start. Well, there we are. Says Ketchup King. And I Can't See says, what game is that? So I was talking about Power World. Enshrouded. Cloudbusters has been playing Shrouded. Good to know. Keep it coming in. So, let's just touch on some of that while we're here. Where is it? Here it is. So, Helldivers. So this is an example of a game that didn't come with a lot of hype, or I certainly wasn't aware of it. Maybe because I'm less familiar with the PlayStation world and stuff. But I don't seem to recall there being a lot of noise around this title. It is a sequel, but it is doing, by all accounts, everything was like last week. Everything was all about Power World and how it's, surpassing and breaking Steam sale records and all of this, even though, of course, it's Xbox Game Pass game as well. So that's sort of even more credit to to it, the fact that it's selling so many on the Steam, as well as it being available for Xbox users. But here, see what I've been looking at. Helldivers 2 is now PlayStation's biggest Steam launch ever. I did see what they call it, of Guild Wars, what they're called now, Guild Wars playing it. The current peak doubles God of War's previous record of 73.5k. Now, this is interesting. So all this furore and craziness about... I mean, Xbox do this already, don't they? You know, release the title to PC and to console straight off. But this is an example of where you can cash in on a kind of a sort of, you know, multi-platform business model that we already are familiar with, that of the console and the PC. Helldivers 2 is now PlayStation's biggest Steam launch, clocking up over 150,000 concurrent users on the PC platform over the weekend. Yep. Up until this point, Sony Santa Monica's God of War reboot held the record with 73,000 simultaneous users, which is less than half of Helldivers 2. Play that in the background. PlayStation. The record was secured despite the Plague shooter's launch. Despite the issues that plagued the shooter's launch, which was causing crashes and preventing some players from matchmaking with others. I see. So it's got that whole kind of Starship Troopers reference sort of style to it. Arrowhead Game Studios pushed out a rapid patch on Steam on Friday to address its matchmaking issues, which has no doubt helped bolster the user count as the weekend went on. Yesterday, it deployed the same patch to PS5 users. So, yeah. And this article here, goodbye, Power World. Goodbye. Goodbye, Power World. Helldivers 2 surpasses it on Steam, and it hasn't even debuted yet. This was from the 10th, so sort of saying Saturday or Friday. The competitive world of online multiplayer can be as benevolent as it is lethal, and in the face of many titles that have succumbed, it certainly becomes news when one stands out. Such is the case of Helldivers 2, whose prelude was filled with uncertainty and discreet promotion. Exactly, discreet promotion. I don't remember there being anything about it. Maybe I wasn't looking. Maybe it just wasn't in my sphere of reference. I don't know. But now it seems poised to become the new viral game and succeed where others have failed, so much that it has already surpassed Power World. And everyone was banging on about how massive Power World was becoming. I love it when, you know, games from slightly, I'd say, lesser known indies just sort of suddenly appear. And I mean, I know they don't just suddenly appear, but you know what I mean? They're not like hyped to death with a massive marked machine like, you know, Call of Duty or something like that, or an epic game, you know. It debuted. So this was before this article was before it debuted, even though it says 10th of February here. So it came out last week on the 8th. A third-person team-based shooter where the elite forces of Helldivers fight to win an intergalactic conflict with the galaxy from growing alien threats. All very Starship Troopers. From a third-person perspective, players use various weapons and stratagems to shoot and eliminate enemy forces. I mean, you know, hardly original. So there must be something about the game that is driving its popularity. You know, it seems to lack a USP, but must be in the gameplay or something. But here we are, look. Top sellers, United States, at the top. Helldivers 2. You know, it's gone above Counter-Strike 2 and Call of Duty and Palworld. So really well done to Helldivers 2. Let me know if you've played it and all of that. I'd be interested to know. See what you've been saying. I Can't See says I need to try that. Enshrouded looks fun. Indeed, let's go. Been playing Call of Duty with the Game Sir. The Game Sir. Is it a new Game Sir controller? Or is it the older one like this? I do like this controller. USB-C one here. It is quite nice. I've taken it with me on holiday, but the trouble is, it's so nice on holiday, I never end up getting to play games. Also, actually, my sister's internet is absolute pants. But she's in the middle of nowhere in France, so fair enough. She did say to me, "Oh, we know we're getting cable." She hasn't, mate. They haven't brought it to that village. Been Prince of Persia on Switch, but want Bannisters on Xbox. Gamer Guild TV, thank you. They kept changing their names, so I get all muddled up. Yeah, Gamer Guild TV were playing it last week, I noticed. Have you tried the Skull and Bones beta? Not this one. Not this time round. I tried the previous one a couple of months ago. And it actually drove me to go and play a bit of Sea of Thieves, because that's what I miss. I miss that aspect of it, because you're steering boats around in a kind of third person. It's not quite the same as steering the boat and fighting like you do in Sea of Thieves. You know, there's fun. It's fun to be had. But yeah, I might pop into the beta again. Helldivers 2 looks interesting with friendly fire on. Yeah, it does look like Outriders to me. It's got that Outriders vibe, but there was a lot of hype around Outriders at the time, and then people were disappointed with it. I quite enjoyed it, apart from the last boss, which I cannot do. And there's 2 layers to it, like all typical slightly Japanese influenced boss levels. Just when you think you've done it, you haven't. There's another level to it. And I tried so hard, and I thought I defeated the boss level, and then you just get taken elsewhere, and the boss gets even worse. Yeah. 1/4 of Helldivers 2 user base is on Steam. PlayStation crazy not to release all games day and day on Steam and PS5. Exactly. There's a lesson to be had there. Xbox have been doing it, for long. And the reality is you either enjoy playing games on PlayStation 5 or you enjoy playing games on PC. I would argue that in that Venn diagram of ownership, you own a gaming PC because you want to play games on your PC. You don't know, and so you probably don't own a PS5. And if you own a PS5, you've chosen that as your weapon of choice. So yeah, it's not as though you're cannibalizing the market by releasing a PlayStation title on PC, because the reason you've bought a PlayStation is you want to play your games on PlayStation, and the reason you bought a gaming PC is because you want to play games on gaming. You want to game on PC. I'm sure there is, in the Venn diagram, there's a small area where those two people meet and, swap between the two. But generally, that's the choices you make. The white one, no Xbox type, Hall effect thumbsticks, 500 hertz. Very good. Very good game, sir. Very good game, sir. Anyway, so talking about multi-platform releases and all of that, ladies and gentlemen. So last week we discussed in depth, of course, that all these rumors, bang my mic, apologies there. All these rumors were flying around about, Xbox suddenly making their so-called exclusives available on multi-platform and all of that, etc., etc. And then Xbox came out and said, we'll make an announcement next week, which is this week. Well, it's confirmed. They will be doing And yeah, they've been silent since then, since Phil Harrison came out and said, yeah, we'll have an announcement about it. Well, we now know that announcement is going to be taking place. Not there. That's a giveaway. We don't do that one yet. Not that one. Finding the right news story. Right, here we go. So, Xbox announcement here. Please join us for a special edition of the official Xbox podcast. Yeah, the official Xbox podcast. Hear from Phil Spencer, Sarah Bond, and Matt Booty as they share updates on the Xbox business. Look at that trifecta. Phil Spencer, Sarah Bond, and Matt Booty. They're bringing out the big guns. Yeah? That's the strike force, that is. So it's a serious announcement as they share updates on the Xbox business. I think it's on YouTube, so it is it's not a podcast in the traditional sense. It's a visual podcast. We'll be able to see them chatting. And it's on YouTube, youtube.com on Xbox. And that is on February the 15th. Thursday then, yeah? Wish it was today. Thursday. And they're going to be revealing all. So tune in to find out what they are going to be revealing. So as a little kind of insider, well, not an insider, as a sort of speculation, this is Tom Warren from The Verge. After weeks of rumours of Xbox exclusives coming to PS5 and Nintendo Switch. Now, hold that thought about Nintendo as well, because I have some news about Nintendo, rumoured news about Nintendo, which coincides with the Xbox podcast. Anyway, we'll come to that. What could it mean? Microsoft is now planning to discuss its vision for the future at an Xbox event later this week. And this is following rumours suggesting that Hi-Fi Rush, Sea of Thieves, and even Bethesda's titles like Starfield and Indiana Jones could appear on non-Xbox platforms. So he goes on to speculate further here. Tom, no, don't give that one. Don't give that away yet. Microsoft prepares to take Xbox everywhere. So this is the sort of the sort of general fault. Yeah, not fault. This is the sort of the general consensus in terms of what we think Microsoft is preparing to talk about. This idea of Xbox everywhere. Microsoft's Xbox business needs to get bigger, right? It needs to bulk up. Get bigger. The company's Xbox Series S and X sales still lag behind PlayStation 5. We know that. Microsoft Gaming CEO Phil Spencer has previously admitted its own Xbox Game Pass subscriptions were slowing down. That is probably not surprising. That is the nature of a subscription service. You've got to feed the beast. Netflix know that. That's why they're constantly in rolling debt, because they're constantly having to come up, either acquire IP, new content, or create and spend money on their own IP and content to keep feeding the monster, to keep feeding that subscription graph, so the subscriptions keep going up. And Xbox Game Pass has to do the same. And we had a dry year last year. In 2022 was a dry year for Xbox games after Microsoft's big exclusive Starfield was delayed. Of course, an Xbox Game Pass slowdown might be why I'm hearing, this is Tom saying, that a number of Xbox exclusives are coming to consoles with which Microsoft usually competes with. Sources familiar with Microsoft plans tell The Verge the company is getting ready to launch a select number of Xbox games on PS5 and Nintendo Switch. Now, it has been rumoured for a while that Hi-Fi Rush was going to come to Nintendo Switch. And I think Hi-Fi Rush is a good fit for Nintendo Switch personally. And interestingly enough, I also think Sea of Thieves would be quite a good fit. It'll lose something graphically because Sea of Thieves looks wonderful on the Xbox Series X or on a good gaming PC. The Sea looks incredible. But I also think it would look great. It would be a great game to play on the Nintendo Switch. Launching Xbox games on PlayStation or Nintendo Switch is a seismic shift in strategy and not one that Microsoft will have taken lightly. Yeah, that's why you've got those big guns. Yeah, that's why you've got Phil Spencer, Sarah Bond and Matt Booty. Bear in mind that Sarah Bond recently got promoted. So, these are the VPs. She's not a business executive. She's more now. President of Xbox. Yeah, the president of Xbox now, Sarah Bond. So they're not mucking about. Phil Spencer, Sarah Bond and Matt Booty. So this is a big change they're making. Microsoft's overall gaming business just passed Windows in terms of revenue. So the gaming business for Microsoft is still very important. Now, part of that is thanks to the acquisitions of Activision Blizzard, and obviously that comes with the mobile publisher King, which has Candy Crush and all of that. That's all counts as gaming in the gaming pie chart. Well, in your revenue pie chart, all that mobile gaming, which we know is billions, counts towards the gaming revenue. The gaming column. The giant $68.7 billion acquisition will be weighing on Microsoft's mind, particularly when you consider Call of Duty is a big multi-platform game. The fact that they spent that $70 billion on, a collection of massive IP has to have an effect on your traditional strategy. I mean, it's slightly different than just buying slightly smaller publishers. This was a massive acquisition. And imagine it's like, if you're a boat, it's like you're a fishing boat and you catch lots of fish and you put it down in the hole and you catch some more fish and put it down in the hole. You've got room for that. You can cater for that. Your ship is built for that. But then you hook a Moby Dick of a publisher like Activision Blizzard and, to quote Jaws, we're going to need a bigger boat. We're going to need a bigger strategy. We're going to need a different strategy. Now you've taken on Activision Blizzard. Plus, you factor in the fact that they had to change their business model slightly because of this UK Competitions and Markets Authority and to a certain degree the EU Market Authority. All of this, which is sort of interconnected, has combined. And suddenly you think, actually, we've got all these titles, all these Activision Blizzard titles. I mean, it may well have started from the fact they've got all these Activision Blizzard titles, many of which were multi-platform already. And they're suddenly going to make them all exclusive. They probably thought, pressure from the Activision Blizzard side of things, probably thought, no, they make a lot of money multi-platform. So from that premise, you go, okay, well, fair enough. We'll start making, we'll look at each title on its merits. And if it still deserves to be multi-platform, the Activision Blizzard titles, we'll make them multi-platform if it's making a lot of money. But then you take a step further back and you say, well, actually, we spent $70 billion on Activision Blizzard. So that's a major part of our offering, as it were. So why don't we, if we're applying that strategy to that part of Xbox, or Microsoft, which is 70 billion we've just spent on, shouldn't we perhaps why don't we consider applying the same strategy to all our games, not just the Activision Blizzard games? If they make lots of money multi-platform, maybe there's one or two titles which have sort of served their purpose in terms of, driving Xbox Game Pass subscribers and stuff, that we could still generate loads of money by suddenly making Sea of Thieves or Halo or, you know, sacrosanct that they may be, available on PlayStation or, you know, Hi-Fi Rush on Nintendo Switch. Why wouldn't you want to create those revenue models when you've just spent $70 billion on a multi-platform publisher? You know, do you see what I mean? The weight of Activision Blizzard as part of the overall Microsoft gaming division means you're suddenly taking on a multi-platform strategy anyway. If you know, I hope I'm making sense with that. In May 2022, Microsoft had ambitious goals of 100 million Xbox Game Pass subscribers by 2030. You've got to feed the beast to do that. At the time, the service, which lets Xbox owners subscribe to a library of games, was sitting at 25 million. That's in 2022. That's a tall order to go from 25 million to 100 million in the space of 8 years. But having said that, it was up 18 million from 2021. But is it going to level off? Is that what Xbox seeing? Are they seeing a J curve? Or are they seeing a slightly more smoother curve leveling off? It looks set to continue growing rapidly amid Microsoft's device agnostic focus on consoles, PC and cloud gaming. Xbox Game Pass started to stall. Starfield and Redfall, which were set to be major Xbox exclusives, got delayed. That's what I'm saying about feeding the monster. They got delayed from a 2022 release. If they're like scheduled tentpole games, exclusives that are factored into your financial year to drive Xbox subscribers, and they're delayed, then where's your big multiplex titles that's going to keep feeding the subscriber machine, the subscription machine? So that was a big thing, with Starfield missing a key holiday window. It feels like we're likely to go through a gap of almost 16 months between big exclusives on our platform. 16 months. So definitely you can see how, yes, in 2021, whatever, that vision of getting to 100 million Xbox Game Pass subscribers on paper seemed okay. But suddenly you have two major Xbox exclusives, one of which wasn't that well received and was late, as in Redfall. Starfield, which was they banked on and again was delayed, and suddenly you know your whole strategy is taking a kick in the ghoulies. This is what he announced anyway. 16 months between big exclusive launches on our platform. That was revealed in the FTC versus Microsoft case. This is really a disaster situation. I mean, he's not mincing his words. This was an internal email. This is really a disaster situation for us, given all we've invested in content across studios at our Game Pass content fund. Yeah. So they have fund, they have a fund, a money pit to fund Game Pass subscriptions. And two massive games in 2022 didn't deliver. And we've not had an update since then. Some analysts estimate Microsoft is only around 33 million subscribers. Only 33. But clearly, with their ambitions, not enough. It seems okay to me, but, that's a 33% growth in 2 years, where Microsoft had targeted 73% growth. And we see what happens when you don't hit your targets. I mean, this is what happened to Stadia for all the reasons that we know, but they didn't hit the targets. And then they look over at Xbox making these massive publisher acquisitions and just realize if you don't hit your targets, you can't make the big bets. And, that's what's happened. And Microsoft, carried on making the big bets, but they're not paying off. So they clearly, according to this article by Verge, they need to change their strategy. The company then dropped Xbox Game Pass growth as a target. So suddenly Xbox Game Pass as a major, target. We all have our our goals, our work goals, our targets and stuff. And, like if it's anything like my work, you have your sort of cross-global targets, and then they come down narrower to your department, and you try and work out, how can I deliver on my targets that somehow match the company's targets? Well, this is a target that went away. Microsoft has instead focused more on PC Game Pass, interestingly, and scaled back some of its Xbox cloud gaming plans. Shame. But again, no major competition other than Nvidia, GeForce Now. And to be honest, that's tech-wise, that's better. The combination of Xbox Series S, the effective $300 Game Pass console, and cloud gaming was supposed to drive a big part of that 100 million Game Pass members figure that they leaked in the FTC versus Microsoft materials. But sales of Microsoft's latest consoles won't get the company there alone. They've been looking at other avenues, including mobile, hence the Activision Blizzard acquisition. A new mobile... all this means that adding a bunch of games to Switch and PS5 won't necessarily help Microsoft's embiggening? That's a weird word. Embiggening? Enlarge. Okay, somebody got the thesaurus out. Won't help their enlarging ambitions for the Xbox. That's why I suspect Microsoft might need to tease more of its future hardware vision. Xbox executives reassured employees that Xbox hardware would continue. But they didn't directly address the elephant in the room. Persistent rumours about exclusives coming to Nintendo Switch and PS5. And there's still the rumours of the handheld and all of that. We've got... The interesting thing is, we've got GDC in March, and often we get a lot of game announcements there, or especially sort of tech and game announcements at GDC. And then we have the sort of Games Fest E3 equivalent around about beginning of June. So people are gearing up for it. Let's just see what you guys have been saying before we go on. Yeah. I hope Sony Ops Helldivers 2 into GFN. Yeah, I'm not holding my breath on that, but yeah, it'd be a great game to play on GFN. Would buy it on PC if it was. Yeah, definitely. Me too. It goes to show how many people would buy these games in all games were available on cloud platforms. Exactly. Just make the games available at the end of the day. Banishes is coming to GFN tomorrow. Good to know. Skull and Bones, February the 6th. GeForce Now. Yeah, I've played the... I played the Xbox version, so actually I might play on the GeForce Now version. Xbox bringing out the big guns. Third-party games will be going to PS5. First-party games will be exclusive on Xbox, then drop onto PS5 and Switch. I think it'll be a mix, personally. Yeah, I think some games will have like a 6-month exclusive on Xbox, say. Some games will go straight to have a multi-platform approach from day one. I think they'll have a mixed strategy, really, depending on the nature of the game and where they think it'll do well. Banishers looks really good. I'll have to check it out. I think I've got the trailer because I did put it in my GFN news. Evening, Neil. 34 quid on CD keys. Still, okay, not my game. Xbox and Sony should work together, make all games come to each. Yeah, like in the days of VHS, Panasonic VHS, Sony, yeah. Up to the customer. Well, yeah, that's what I think. My vision of the future is that you have some sort of digital download and it knows what platform that you've downloaded it on and then just play. So you just make the purchase of the game and then you play it on your platform of choice. And it's just, up to the platform to make it, to make their platform the one you want to play it on. There was the whole, you have it with, music, don't you? You choose the old, back in the day, you chose the CD player of your choice, but it would play on any old CD player. Bit like PC, MSI PC, Asus PC. Yeah, exactly. Are you forgetting that Ubisoft has exclusive right in the UK and Xbox does not have a say in which platforms users can release on? Well, of course, that's what we're saying, is that they haven't, partly I was saying they had to factor in that on their, arguably on their Xbox, on their cloud gaming aspirations. That might be another reason why they sort of went a bit soft on it and just thought, oh, okay, we'll just let the market have control of those and stuff like that. I shouldn't have to buy a PlayStation or Xbox to play a particular game, especially in times of cost. I agree. Hurts the consumer in the long run. It's possible, though. Yeah, they both have AMD APUs. Yeah, although Xbox could be changing. Took a court intervention to convince people to bring USB-C to their products. And don't get me started on USB-A only going in one way. PlayStation, boy, you guys couldn't hold the line. It's over PlayStation for life. PlayStation runs shit. If they wanted 100 million Game Pass subscribers, they'd have to do 3 things. Exclusives, games have to be good, and advertise it. Yeah, I mean, that's the point. The games have to be so good that it drives enough subscriptions to justify not selling it directly or making it available on multi-platform. And that's the sort of dilemma, And the hard work is getting up to that 100 million Game Pass subscribers. And then even when you're there, as Netflix has learned, you can't suddenly put your feet up, sit in the deck chair, have a Malibu and Coke. No, because those 100 million Game Pass subscribers are like hungry birds in a nest. And they're like, kind of, what's next? Feed me, what's next? You've got to keep feeding the beast. Ubisoft Plus, for all its faults, allows me to play the games I sub onto any platform of choice. Exactly. Great model. Great model from Ubisoft. Whoops. Yeah. Ubisoft Connect is on PC, Luna, Xbox, PS5. Yeah, 100% will be on Switch too. Play my records on any device. I think this is Microsoft bringing a couple of games and vice versa, I hope. Hey, Harry, are you here? Xbox handheld, that'd be interesting. Just another cash grab. But there definitely seem to be a market for handhelds. I'm always funny about the Steam Deck and all of that and just think, why? Who wants that? But, clearly a lot of people did. People love to have PC gaming on the go. And, are not really comfortable with cloud gaming. So maybe Xbox see that as an opportunity. Jerome's in the house. Hit the likes. Do as he says, ladies and gentlemen. Microsoft dumping Xbox Series X now. No way I'd go Microsoft anything. The point is, I think I've always liked Xboxes. I just, like the cut of their jib. I have a G Cloud and I love it. Wow. This is Microsoft cash grab for sure. I love my handheld, says Neil. Now, the interesting thing is this. Nintendo. Microsoft's Xbox business update is on the same day as a rumoured Nintendo Direct. Interesting. No, I left off the full stop there. Let's read that sentence again. Microsoft's Xbox business update is on the same day as a rumored Nintendo Direct. Interesting. Did I get the emphasis right? Yeah. So according here, Nintendo Direct is rumored to be scheduled for February the 15th. If it's a regular Nintendo Direct, it'll be announced on Wednesday. If it's a partner Direct, maybe it's a shadow drop on Thursday. I'm excited. What is the betting that Hi-Fi Rush gets announced for the Nintendo Switch on the 15th? Is it just a coincidence that there is a Nintendo Direct rumor on the 15th and an Xbox podcast with the company's 3 top senior management team revealing Xbox strategy? And the first rumor about an Xbox exclusive going multi-platform was Hi-Fi Rush going potentially to the Nintendo Switch. So could we see that? And as Cloudbusters, how about Game Pass? Well, I'm not sure that's what Cloudbusters is suggesting, but how about Xbox Game Pass coming to Nintendo Switch? How would you feel about that? If the Xbox Game Pass Xbox Cloud Gaming, which was always sort of rumored and, Microsoft said came to Nintendo. That would be a great way of upping your, subscribers. Why just make the games multi-platform? Why not make Xbox Game Pass multi-platform? Now, Nintendo's quite an old-fashioned company, an old-fashioned, Japanese company in its approach. But maybe they've been talking. And it's a great, if they get a cut of the subscriber base, I mean, they don't really compete, do they? They're sort of slightly different markets in terms of console. But if you have the Game Pass xCloud on Nintendo Switch and people are paying for that and say Nintendo get a cut of that because it's on their platform, who knows? That is a big speculation. I think more likely is we're going to see Hi-Fi Rush announced for Nintendo Switch as a minimum this week if these two events are happening at roughly the same time. It's a bit like at the Samsung Galaxy 20, what are we up to? 22, 23, 24, whatever launch. They had loads of Google S24. Yeah. At the Samsung S24 launch, they made loads of announcements about new AI, and it was all Google stuff. But they announced it before Google, or sort of simultaneously. So Google allowed Samsung to make, to do a big launch of their Galaxy S24 phone with all this fancy Google-driven AI. And then as soon as they announced it, Google then started tweeting going, oh, yeah, look at these brilliant AI stuff that's going to coming to the Pixel 8 phone and stuff like that. Even though it's Google technology, they agreed to hold it back for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever it was, to allow Samsung to announce all this wonderful AI Google stuff on their Galaxy S24. And then immediately Google followed up saying it's also coming to, the Pixel 8, all this tech that we've allowed Samsung to have. So it's interesting. Switch 2, 8-inch. Which handheld you got? A ROG Ally. I'm tempted with the Logitech G Cloud. I've asked a contact whether they could have a word with Logitech G and see whether I could review it on the channel. Bit cheeky, but you never know. Screen is 120 hertz. Very nice. Tempted. Yeah, my daughter saved up and bought a Nintendo, another Nintendo Switch to take with her when she went to university. xCloud on Switch would be great. Well, it'd been rumoured, and certainly, ages ago, this was before these rumours, it was rumoured or there was sort of talk about it, sort of blue sky thinking at Xbox about whether they could do that. But Xbox's whole attitude to xCloud has changed dramatically. But still, I think it would still make a great idea. Imagine playing Call of Duty on your Switch in pretty good, graphics. I mean, Switch have already, tried a few things out using the cloud, control and stuff like that. xCloud and PS5, slightly less likely, because obviously those two, are competing much more closely, and it's got to be a win-win. I think having multi-platform games is a win-win. PlayStation were one of the, the last to hold out having Minecraft on PlayStation. It was on, obviously on Xbox and PC, and then it was on Switch, and then I think it was on PlayStation, but it took a long time. I think with Fortnite, PlayStation were unhappy about having cross-platform play and all of that. PlayStation are the ones that hold out on this sort of exclusivity ring fence approach. So yeah, they're competing much more closely with Xbox, so I can't see Game Pass coming to PlayStation. Yeah, xCloud coming to PlayStation. Bring the App Store to consoles properly. That makes sense. I haven't played GFN on it. Gone to local gaming for the moment. I get 1.5 battery life for local gaming. That's on the ROG Ally, people. xCloud's still in beta. Exactly. It's a bit shoddy. Sometimes you have to wait 15 minutes to play a game. How would that fly on Switch? Exactly. This is what I worry about xCloud. And they've sort of neglected it. And you're right. That's not a good selling point for Game Pass. xCloud. It never used to be like that. It was only the end of, I'd say, towards the end of last year that you started having to wait. I remember the first time I saw it and I was like, I double took. I thought, what? The whole beauty of cloud gaming is, you don't have to wait around. You don't have to wait for downloads or updates. You click, you play, and you're off. That was a great thing about Stadia. Like, it was really hard to go back and play a local game, because as soon as you load it up, it goes, oh, this game needs an update. And if you've got an internet like me, it's like, oh, it's going to be another 30 minutes. And I won't be in the mood anymore. So the beauty of cloud is you just click and play, but not anymore with xCloud. You click and wait. So it sort of takes the sparkle off cloud gaming. Plus, they've not really updated the sort of video render and all that kind of stuff. The experience is much better on GeForce Now. Certainly on GeForce Now Ultimate for me. xCloud is absolutely terrible. They've neglected over a year. They should drop xCloud and beg. Yeah. I think. Yeah. I think as long as they, they've always tried to bring all the games. We know that this, in a way, a multi-platform strategy is not new to Xbox. They've been pushing the PC game side of it. And every publisher that is bringing a game to Xbox, they're sort of saying, can you bring it to PC as well and bring it to cloud, ideally? So the three things, you know, available on cloud, PC, and console. So if all the games are available on console, then yeah, why not get into bed a bit more with GeForce Now, NVIDIA, and basically have them run the cloud gaming service, or, you know, dramatically improve your offering. G-Cloud thumbsticks aren't the best, to be honest. That's why I don't want to buy it. I just want to review it. Agree, Casable. Screw xCloud. At least still it's in beta. I mean, it's unbelievable it's still in beta. We used to moan about Amazon Luna still being in beta, and that, you know, lasted about a year or so. But xCloud's been in beta for what, 3 years? G-Cloud is on offer at GFN, 20% off indeed. If you are a Priority or GeForce Now member, you get 20% off the Logitech G-Cloud. Why not? Check that out. Good to see everybody in the house. In fact, I'm just going to... We're just going to fire off some memberships. Let's go. While we've got so many people in the house. Nobody talks about PS cloud gaming. It actually works way better than xCloud, and PS doesn't even push it that much. Exactly, and it's not really interested me, and yet, yeah, people say it plays really well. So what is, you know, PlayStation's whole thing about not pushing it? I never understood why xCloud is so far behind. They lack competition, that's what it is. I mean, GeForce Now is very much about cloud gaming and PC and stuff like that. But at least when Stadia was around, it kind of kept xCloud honest. You know, xCloud suddenly, you know, Stadia, you could play games at 4K, 60 frames per second, which was amazing at the time. And, you know, xCloud looked super shoddy. So then they upgraded their blades to Xbox Series X blades, the equivalent of playing on an Xbox Series X. So you thought, wow, this is great. But they've not really updated the stream or anything like that. I hope you enjoy the memberships. There is an exclusive video on the channel now. If you are lucky enough to get a membership, check it out. Just me rambling about things. But, you know, hey, you might like it. Thumbsticks feel fine to me. There's a tiny click on one if you're listening to it. Good, you're not working them out. PS Cloud is great, I must admit it. Caseball says Call of Duty Modern Warfare is definitely not going on to Game Pass. That's going to be interesting. Whether they, yeah, because that is the title that drives, you know, subscriptions. That would definitely drive Game Pass subscriptions. But it would be at the expense of potential sales of the game, and therefore not necessarily worth doing from Microsoft's point of view. Luna works better. Yeah, Stadia was great. Yeah, still, you know, it's a crying shame. All the tech was there. Just they made some wrong decisions, which I sort of supported or justified why they may have made them. But yeah, in retrospect, they definitely made some wrong decisions down the line. Stadia was the best. Agree. Absolutely. Caseball, Lugo, Tyburn, Neil J, Colm, and Born in the USA were all lucky enough to get memberships. Make sure you check out, this weekend, I did drop a exclusive video, a little bit of behind the scenes, a little bit of chat, talk about games, talk about Japanese culture, films, everything just that I've been doing this week, weird things, not too weird. Anyway, watch the video if you're a member. Oh, poor old Cloudbusters. Maybe next week. I only do it if there's lots of people watching and we just think, yeah, why not? And we've got 19 viewers, so good for you, everybody. Hit those likes, yeah? How are we doing on the likes? Who's keeping a tally of the likes? I can't see. Anyway, do that. I do like the peace of mind for local gaming as well. I spent a week tearing my hair out and not being able to play Baldur's Gate 3 on GFN for one reason or another. Yeah, when it works, look, cloud gaming, when it works, it's awesome. But when things go down or the internet gets clogged up or whatever it is, or you can't play or there's, it's not so great. All these Sony fanboys say games are the best on PS5. Then they see God of War and GFN Ultimate and they go very quiet. Yeah. Again, Sony are very precious. Too precious in my view. But then why shouldn't they be? They're sort of best-selling console in the world, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Why wouldn't they rest on their laurels on that side of things? They're not the ones trying to catch up. They're not playing catch up. Microsoft, Xbox have always been playing catch up. So they've got to be nimble. They've got to think about their strategy. They've got to change their strategy. PlayStation just sit there going, well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Yeah? It's worked for them. They built and established a brand and a reputation, and they can, to a certain degree, rest on their laurels. They shouldn't rest on them for too long because the future is coming, and the future is coming fast. And if they don't plan for the future, they will get caught napping. No problem, Lugo and Caseball. No problem. It is, freaking amazing. I haven't played Ultra Wide yet. No problem, Neil G. Xbox needs to get COD onto Game Pass. They need to raise prices of Game Pass across all tiers. I think you'd only raise the... Yeah, I mean... I suddenly flicked on Amazon Prime and it goes, oh, you're on the ad tier now. Do you want to upgrade? And I was like, really? I've not seen any ads, but I thought, really? Do I really want to up? No. Disney went up. My Netflix went up. Yeah. So you got to, in a way though, when you do put the prices up, you want to justify it. And, Call of Duty, if you went, here are all the Call of Duty games available on Game Pass now. There you go. Wallop. Oh, and by the way, we're putting up the cost of Game Pass. You go, fair enough. Or, so you're putting up, we're having, because, prices are rising. We're having to put up the price of Game Pass. However, how about all of the Call of Duty franchise for you? There you go. And that would sort of justify it, wouldn't it? To a certain degree. I think you're right, Mog. Call it Goth Mod there. A combination of tribes, isn't it? A Goth Mod. Anyway, Goth Mog. Yeah, I agree. I bought God of War for Wii. Only, thank you. 19 likes. Thank you, Jerome. Keeping up. You need a multiplayer day, Clive. Grow the channel. Exactly. I need a multiplayer day. Indeed. Right then, ladies and gentlemen. Do you like that one, Goth Mod? Yeah. A Goth Mod. Yeah, he's Goth at night, and there's a mod during the day on his Lambretta. A Goth on a Lambretta. That'd be it, yeah. Going down to Brighton, if you know all those references. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, there we go. 22:59 as we, on my clock here. That's been an interesting chat. All will be revealed, ladies and gentlemen. All will be revealed on, what's that, Thursday? Did I say Thursday, the 15th? What's it, 13th, 14th? Yeah, 15th. All be revealed. and no doubt we'll be talking all about what was revealed. Same time, same place next week. So make sure, if you're not subscribed, you hit the subscriber button, toggle that notification bell, and that way you'll know when I go live next week with all the latest Xbox news, perhaps Nintendo news, and perhaps even PlayStation news, given what's expected to come later this week. I want to say a massive, massive thank you to everybody who tuned in live tonight. Great to see you all. I really, really appreciate it. Don't forget, we'll have GeForce Now news on Thursday. Look out for that, 2 p.m. I hope it's a little bit more interesting than it was last week. It was a bit 7 games, one of which was a sort of demo game as well. Wasn't very exciting. In fact, there is a game that is due to come out. Thermitage. A game called Thermitage, which is was due to come out on GeForce Now, and it's been delayed until I think March or something. So no, that's a game less. So yeah, hopefully there's some interesting GeForce Now news and all of that coming up. But anyway, I'd really appreciate. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you watching this after the event, and I'd love to see you same time, same place next week. Let's just quickly go through the last comments here. Yeah, definitely not coming to Game Pass. It's the biggest seller of Xbox. It was suicidal to put it on there. Oh, it's a business decision. Do they take the hit for the benefit they get? Will the benefit they get outweigh the hit they'll take? That is the dilemma. So you can see why there is a disagreement there. Microsoft's best chance ever being in the game industry is being third party in xCloud. Interesting. I can read the kanji on your channel membership tiers. Excellent. Very good. I need to learn my kanji. See you indeed. Good one later. Yeah, Thermitage looks so cool. Unfortunately, that's the one that's delayed. So it won't be coming to GeForce Now for a few weeks. Okay, but yes, Caseball, I know you're always very critical if they're not delivering the goods, which is right, you should be. I just report the news, but yeah, you should be. Hey, Suarez, how are you? Waiting for G-Sync myself on GFN. Oh, yeah, an RPG where you fight with ghosts and against ghosts. Your ideal gaming platform. Well, I have a fondness for... Don't retract it. I have a fondness for the Xbox. I always have. This is what I'm used to. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. Time to roll the outro. Have a wonderful, wonderful gaming week. I hope your gaming dreams come true and all of that. Sayonara, or as I learned to say properly, watching Yojimbo by Akira Kurosawa, or Ohio.
Thanks for watching the Monday Game Chat with your host, Clive Illenden. Don't forget to hit the likes, subscribe, and consider becoming a member. Hit the join button today.